You found the WMIX Saturday Sports Show on AM 940 and WMIXSports.com. Cared for by Crossroads Community Hospital. The Saturday Sports Show has been recognized by the Illinois Broadcasters Association as one of the top radio programs in the state. That means the very best mix of local sports content is right here. From the Powerhouse on Broadway, the Saturday Sports Show starts now.
And good morning from the Powerhouse. Glad to have you with us for the Saturday Sports Show on WMIX, WMIXSports.com. Chris Hugo with you, Danny Zerwinski, Mike Richardson as well. Here from the Powerhouse on Broadway. Loaded lineup coming your way today as we will talk to Mountford and Rams baseball coach Tim Holloway. Lance Boldt of Mountford and Lady Rams softball stop by. We'll also have Pinckneyville Panthers baseball coach Alan Englehardt, Joe Bernard, Wayne City Lady Indians softball coach, Coleen Stanley, of course, is the head coach of Waltonville-SV softball, and then we will also catch up, or try to anyway, with Runnin Rams track coach Clint Turner. Of course, the Rams finished second place in 2A yesterday, fifth place overall in the O'Fallon relays. So a good run yesterday. Of course, a good field event placing from the Mountford and Rams track and field team yesterday. Today, busy day for you as well. We have Mountford and Rams baseball as we will have a doubleheader from Brendan Klein Memorial Field. 11 o'clock is scheduled for your first pitch of Game 1 as the East Peoria Raiders come to town. 10:45 will be your pregame on AM 940, online at WMIXSports.com. But, of course, all of that means little without telling you that the Saturday Sports Show is powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
You bet it is. And, of course, we're glad to be back with you in studio today. Easter Eve, which means that we could only mean one thing, of course. It is the first anniversary of the WMIX Sports Social Media Question of the Week. What a great occasion.
52 questions. Hard to believe it's been a year. I couldn't believe it's been a year.
But has it been 52 questions?
Not sure. No, because Easter was off.
Yeah.
Easter's off a week. It might be 51 because last year Easter was a week later because it's the first week of April. It might be 51.
Well, either way, we're celebrating the anniversary of the WMIX Sports Social Media Question of the Week. And a year ago it got started, I believe. We had to pre-record an interview with Jeff Harrison of Lady Rams Soccer and got that question in. And I feel like it's been a great asset to our show ever since. It's been one of those things that's a little bit different about our program, and most importantly, coaches seem to like it. All interviews, not just coaches.
51.
We interview more than
Today
coaches.
Will be 51.
Dang.
Yep.
How about that?
How about that? I mean, it worked out. I mean, it's, something you add to the program, something socially, something away from the topic of coaching and whatnot that everybody, not only our people that we have on the show, our guests, but we can discuss, and people on our social media that follow us on Facebook and Twitter also can discuss. Everybody has an answer to a lot of these questions, and that's like we like to see other people participate and see everyone participate.
So I've got to ask each of you, in the annals of time here on the Saturday Sports Show over the past 51 weeks, do you have a favorite social media question that we've asked? I do have a favorite because I think about things like that.
Wow, that's a good question in itself. There's been so many good ones. I might have to think about that and get back later on.
Yeah, there's way too many. I mean, I'm looking at them right now. It's quite interesting to see what questions we had and everything else. It is pretty interesting.
I can tell you my favorite. I can't remember if you were a closer or you're at bat music. That's my favorite. Easter candy was a pretty good one as well.
Easter candy was, since it's Easter right now, that's obviously one that's on everybody's mind.
Right.
That was a good one. But yeah, you're probably right. The
NASCAR the NASCAR sponsor got a lot of indifferent answers.
That was clever.
So
does that mean we can go ahead and kind of
we may as well because I'm ready to go whenever everybody else is. I mean, I say we let
the cat out of the bag. We've never repeated a question.
And we will today.
There we go. Why?
Yeah. Well, it's Easter.
There we go.
It's one of those deals where we're thinking about it and we have to. It's what is your favorite Easter candy? Now posted at WMIX Sports, Facebook /WMIX Sports.
There we go. We'll get it on Twitter as well. You can follow us on Twitter at WMIX Sports. We're online today, as we always are, at WMIXSports.com. On your radio here on AM 940. We need to take a break. When we come back, we'll get you set with Mountford and Rams baseball over this past week and, of course, into today. Rams will host East Peoria today. 11 o'clock will be the first pitch of game number 1. It's a doubleheader. Both of those games, as we have every pitch of Rams baseball coming your way this season on WMIX, right here on AM 940 and WMIXSports.com. Saturday Sports Show will take a quick break. We'll come back with Tim Holloway. The Saturday Sports Show, of course, powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
is everything, and you don't want to spend that time in a waiting room. So choose Crossroads Community Hospital with our 30 minutes or less ER service pledge. The entire team is committed to working diligently to have you initially seen by a physician, physician assistant, or nurse practitioner within 30 minutes of your arrival. When minutes matter, choose the ER that doesn't waste time. Choose Crossroads Community Hospital. Visit crossroadscommunityhospital.com/faster to learn more. If you are experiencing a medical emergency, call 911.
Don't you hate it when one of your family members borrow your car and then you get in to find all of your settings changed? Hi, Roy Schmidt, Ford dealer at Ford Square, Mount Vernon. The 2013 Ford Escape boasts Ford's MyKey technology, which lets you program individual keys so two family members can share the car, yet have personalized settings take effect when they use their unique keys. Wow! With its safety features, best-in-class fuel economy, and aerodynamic design, the 2013 Ford Escape S at Ford Square is perfect for everyone. Save $2,000 on this king of the crossovers when you finance through Ford Motor Credit, including 3 payments on us. Come and see and test drive the 2013 Ford Escape at Ford Square in Mount Vernon, 1501 Broadway in Mount Vernon, Illinois, or log on to fordsquare.com.
I know you've heard about mortgage rates being all-time lows, but have you done anything about it yet? Hi, I'm Rick Pigg, mortgage lender at Community First Bank. There's never been a better time at buying a home or refinancing an existing mortgage. The sooner you act, the more you save, and we'll be there to help you through every step of the way. For more information, visit us at comfirstbank.net or stop by one of our 5 locations.
Community First Bank with locations in Mount Vernon, Woodlawn, Dix, and Ina. Welcome back to Personal Banking. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
And we welcome you back to the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, WMIXsports.com, powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
Hey, it's what healthcare should be.
Glad to be with you today. It's a foggy Saturday morning here in the King City, but all in all, we hope that'll disappear sometime soon and that we are able to get Mount Vernon Rams baseball your way today with an 11 o'clock first pitch, game number 1 of a doubleheader against the East Peoria Raiders. Speaking of which, we welcome the head coach of Rams baseball, Tim Holloway. Coach, good morning.
Good morning.
How are things looking today? I assume the field's still in pretty good shape. It's a little foggy, but that should disappear.
Well, we hope. They're saying it's going to be cloudy all day. I'm going to head out there after we talk and check it out, but we should be okay. I don't think we got much rain, did we? I'm hoping everything will be fine.
I can't see evidence of much moisture on the ground other than the fog and effects from that, but you know, we had a week where, beginning of the week, things were kind of sketchy. You missed 2 games, but then you get a game in against Mount Zion, a big win there. Of course, you sweep the doubleheader last Saturday against Mattoon. But you go on a nice 4-game winning streak after losing a pair. You get the Rams up to 7-2. A bit of a disappointing loss yesterday to DuQuoin, but a great baseball program there in Perry County. And I think sitting 7-3 right now on Saturday, the day before Easter, you have to be pretty happy with the way your team has progressed.
Not bad. We'd like to have 3 of those back, but yesterday was tough. You know, we hit the ball hard right at them, and they made every play. I thought they did a good job. It was a disappointing loss at home. Not one that we want to take, obviously, but we've got a chance to go out and prove something to ourselves today. So 7-3, you know, not bad. I'm looking at what type of baseball we're playing, and those results will come. If, you know, a couple things here or there, we could have a little better record. So I think our schedule's been pretty solid. We play teams that will make you look at your flaws for sure. And we've got our conference schedule coming up, so hopefully it's prepared as well.
First and most important question is, what uniforms are the Rams going to wear today?
Well, from what I hear, they're wearing black. You know, I don't care if they go out there in their pajamas, as long as their shirts are tucked in and they're ready to play. So that's up to them, and they're saying black, so that's fine with me.
Okay, because you know, we're curious about the throwback jerseys now for a week, and we wondered how long they would go. That's why I asked that. But the one thing that stands out to me through 10 games is the ability of your team, even with yesterday not getting a lot of hits, but the quality and type of at-bats that your team is getting, 1 to 9 plus bench guys, to me is pretty amazing for a high school team with the quality at-bats this team goes through, getting the pitches they need and want to hit more times. And I think that's a credit to you and your staff, the way they have been approaching hitting this year in 2013.
Well, we work hard at it, but it's credit to the players. They deserve the credit. They're doing a good job. I was thinking back through the game. I can think of maybe 2 or 3 swings where we chased, but we had a lot of guys laying off, breaking stuff down. I mean, we hit the ball hard yesterday. A lot of line drives, and I thought we did have good quality bats, and that's what's tough about this game. And there's no excuses. They beat us. They did a good job. But yes, I agree with you so far, and that's big. You cannot get yourself out and expect to be okay, expect to win games. So we want everybody to have that approach, and we're off to a good start with that. You feel as it gets warmer outside and you get more at-bats during the season, you hope to get better at the plate. So we're off to a good start there.
A good start, and that's what's going to happen today. And I got to add, when you're in this time of year, it's spring break, things going on, teams coming from northern and central Illinois down here to southern Illinois. How do you come across, and we know we lost 2 games in the first couple of days this week, but how do you come across finding an East Peoria on a Thursday or Friday to get a doubleheader set up? How do coaches go about doing things like that?
Well, it's an interesting answer to that question. We knew that Saturday was looking nice, 60 degrees. We knew our field was going to be in good shape, and a lot of people were looking for games. I just sent out a mass email to every coach in the state. I get these sometimes from other teams looking, and I use that email list. I sent it out to everyone saying we would host whoever wanted to play here in the doubleheader Saturday. And it's gone from Waukegan, Urbana. I told them I'd take the first team, Pleasant Plains, Canelan. There's been about 10 or 11 teams that have said, hey, we want to do this. And then something happened where they got backed up on their southern trip. They were rescheduled for Saturday, or they got shot down by the administration, or they couldn't get the travel expenses taken care of. But it came down to, we finally figured out the other day, East Peoria was the last team that said, hey, we can definitely come and we can play JV, which was important to me. I wanted to get our kids, our JV guys, a chance to play. They get rained out at times. So it's worked out pretty good. I just hope they have a safe trip in this fog.
Lose 2 earlier this week. You'll gain 2 back today. You get a day off tomorrow and Monday, and then you start rolling into basically conference season. Marion and Carbondale on the road Tuesday and Thursday with the West Frankfort and Belleville East games sandwiched in between. Can you really plan at the high school level with weather and whatnot, a pitching rotation or staff as you go along each week?
Oh, yeah, I think so. We have a plan. Like I've told you before, it always changes with the weather, but we have a pretty good idea right now who our starters are. We have a good idea who can come in and relief. We have a strikeout guy, we feel, and we tried that yesterday. It doesn't always work out, but you got a runner on third, less than 2 outs, you need a strikeout. We feel like we have a guy that gives us that chance, and we have other guys that can throw strikes. So I'm hoping to throw a couple more out there today and see what they can do. But we have a pretty good idea who those starters are, who can eat up the innings and give us an opportunity.
Of course, you guys did something this week that I enjoyed immensely, and that was Thursday afternoon. The weather was beautiful. I know the conditions at the JV field probably were not optimal. You play a JV game at 2 o'clock against Altoff at spring break. You can do that, and it gives people a chance, I felt, to see the JV and then see the varsity get 2 games for free, and it just seemed like a great day, and it also seemed like it was a nice way to showcase the Rams JV team, who's off to a good start this year.
Yeah, it was enjoyable. I was just glad Altoff was willing to do it. The problem with baseball is varsity teams and varsity coaches rarely get to see your JV, and that's why I enjoy that GCS game against Alton, and the times that we do get to have our JV play out there. It's just one of those few times during the year I get to see them practice, because we practice together at times, but rarely do you get to see them compete. So it was nice to see them playing the game the right way, playing hard, being aggressive on the bases, and they did some good things out there.
Well, and they did, and of course with spring break, and the thing that I'm always mesmerized by is you have some programs where kids take trips during the spring, but the kids in the Rams baseball program sacrifice that to play Rams baseball during their spring break, and it's always a busy week, and just seems like another true testament to just how established this program has become.
Well, it's something we ask them to do. At varsity level, you can't take off. JV kids, if they take off, they may go somewhere. It's rare, but we can't promise their spot's going to be there. it's just a sacrifice you make. I was out of baseball a few years, and we went on a spring break trip, and that was fine. But I think it's the fun is being out there on the field. I'll take that any day, and competing, and that's the enjoyment you get. You only have one chance to play high school baseball, so I think that's a small sacrifice to make.
You only have one chance each week to answer our social media question of the week, and this, I know, you're getting ready, all the pressure before you head out to the field, I know. It's an easy one. You've already been asked this once before. What is your favorite Easter candy?
You're doing this one again, huh?
Yes.
Well, we've never repeated, but since it's the first anniversary, this is the first question we ever asked. We just kind of felt we had to go there.
One. I like that chocolate bunny.
I think I remember that answer. Did you tell me hollow or solid last year?
Hollow.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because I remember being surprised that you went the hollow route and get raw. I mean, because when you get the hollow bird or bunny, whichever one it is, you feel like it's going to be solid, but then when you bite into it, it's like, for me, there's a sense of disappointment. There's not more chocolate there, but I can understand where.
I can only handle so much of that, so that's about right.
Oh, man. Tim, good luck to the Rams today. We look forward to seeing you out there, and just very blessed that we're able to get 2 games in on what will hopefully become a beautiful Saturday afternoon.
All right, fellas. We'll see you there.
That is Tim Holloway, head coach of Rams baseball. And, this time of year you have to give kudos, props, whatever verbiage you want to use to your coaching staffs, your athletic directors, those who put the time, your parents, your volunteers, your teams, who are willing to put the time and effort into making a field playable. And I don't think people understand just how much work and effort it takes to get a field playable, especially with, you look up towards, your Springfields, most of your 217 that had 10, 12 inches of snow dumped on it. We had 3 maybe. It was pretty well gone by Tuesday, but still a lot of work with that wet snow that had to go into getting these fields playable. So you have to give people a lot of credit that we're even able to play games this weekend.
It's one of those deals where you have to give time. I mean, Monday there's 3 inches of snow on the ground. It's melting a little bit. Tuesday it melts quite significantly, and I really wondered about Wednesday. And what really helped in the equation, too, is Mount Vernon was on spring break, and that allowed the coaches to be able to get out there and work it. And, I mean, you're talking about dust in places on Wednesday on that field, and then by yesterday it looked like it hadn't rained in a month. So credit to the Mount Vernon coaching staff for getting out there and playing, and not only playing around in the dirt, but making it dirty and dusty and getting things done. And then, setting up games. Lombard Martini finds out the weather's bad, they're not coming down. So Mount Vernon goes out and finds Mount Zion on Wednesday, who wants to come down and play and get out of the snow in central Illinois. And then you got East Peoria, because Mount Vernon lost 2 games Monday and Tuesday. You get them for today, doubleheader, and you're able to play at home. And a lot of people, even yesterday, were not able to play at home because of a little bit of rain that happened Thursday night and a Friday morning. A lot of people didn't get to play yesterday, but yet Mount Vernon, with their facility and field, again, I don't think you people understand here in the city just how lucky they are to have a baseball field like that and what kind of facility Mount Vernon has for games out there for not only high school but Legion as well. It is a place where you can get a lot of things done with the way that field's set up and the way they work at it and keep that field up to shape in the spring. And after the doubleheader today, Mount Vernon will not have lost any games on the schedule so far in the first month of March.
Well, and you look at that, no net change in the schedule. And you have people that call us sick because of our love for broadcasting sports and how many games we do, this, that, and the other. But
115?
Something along those lines, I think. Probably more than that, actually.
I guarantee it's more than that.
But anyhow, here in Mount Vernon, you have a sick assortment of baseball coaches who just love what they do, and it's all about the kids and trying to get games in and things like that. So they go out there and they spend a lot of time on the field. And you look at Tim Holloway, Quinn McClure, Tom Fulkerson, Denny Clark puts a lot of time in as well working on the field. Scott Gaber, when he comes back, will obviously put a lot of time in as well. But you have to be appreciative of that fact, because not every program is as fortunate as the baseball program is here, to where they have people that dedicated. And there's parents, players each have a job to do after every game. They all have a part of the field that they are responsible for. So
you brought that, Coach Holloway brought that up. You had an excellent question about spring break. And this is where a lot of people start saying, well, it's spring break, blah, blah, blah. And you'll see this happen. Christmas break, spring break. Hey, my family wants to take a vacation. My family wants to go out of town. My family wants to do this. Okay. And you can very well do that. We have no problem with that. You can make that choice. But when you come back, your spot's not guaranteed. Your spot may not be here. Lou, the guy took a day off. Lou Gehrig took over and ran a streak, 2,000-plus games. But in the high school level, you sacrifice some things. Coaches sacrifice time with family. Coaches sacrifice those things because they're out practicing or having games. And again, if you're in high school and you're playing sports, you've got a decision to make. Now, in school, in season is a lot different than summer, because obviously summer there's some leeway given. But, boy, when you're on spring break this time of year and you're a softball, baseball, track, tennis player, cross, whatever, you can't miss. I mean, it's one of those deals you can't miss. You can't go on vacation this time of year.
And we've talked about that, and we need to get to break, though, to talk to Lance Boldt. But I think you look at things, and you made the perfect point of you can go on vacation. That's fine. But don't necessarily expect for your spot to be here when you get back if somebody outperforms you or, we give somebody a chance and are able to prove themselves. And Luke Gehrig's a perfect point. Bobby Bonilla going down, and this was an injury, but Bobby Bonilla going down in 2001, Albert Pujols, of course, stepping in. I mean, you can't necessarily feel comfortable taking a day off in the middle of the season because you don't know what is going to happen in your spot. And I just think that that's a true testament to good programs is kids don't want to go on vacation when you have a program. Teams will often lose kids to vacations. Programs do not lose kids to vacations. And I think that's the important thing to take out of all that, just in my humble opinion. Speaking of opinions, it's my opinion. We need to take a break here on the Saturday Sports Show. Maybe it's fact. Presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
Yeah, that's what healthcare should be.
When we come back, we'll have Lady Rams softball coach Lance Boldt. We'll get an update as to how practice has gone, I suppose, because unfortunately for the Lady Rams, they have not been able to play a game over the course of spring break. They lost Carmi on Tuesday due to the weather. Due to illness, they lost Altsoff on Thursday. So we'll talk with Lance about the upcoming week for Lady Rams softball here on the Saturday Sports Show. We'll be back after these.
You'll notice right away that Second Chance Auto doesn't depend on fancy sales gimmicks. Instead, you'll only find honest deals with no credit checks and instant approval. Take your income tax rebate and use it on the great quality used vehicle you really want. Cars, trucks, minivans, along with small, mid-size, and full-size SUVs. Most priced under $10,000 with 3-month or 3,000-mile warranty. Family owned for over 32 years, serving the families in our region. Located on Route 142 East in Mount Vernon. Call 244-4582.
The Orthopedic Center of Southern Illinois welcomes Dr. Beth Conrarty to their medical staff. Dr. Conrarty specializes in comprehensive pain management using a multidisciplinary team approach by working with other specialists for optimal diagnosis and treatment of pain. Dr. Conrarty will treat most conditions of the spine, including management of cancer pain. Dr. Beth Conrarty, helping to make life better day after day at the Orthopedic Center of Southern Illinois in Mount Vernon. Call 618-242-3778.
I'm Kevin Snyder with a look at your next rad weather. Widespread dense fog this morning, then we'll see clouds and some sunshine with a shower or two late in the day, high around 60. Mostly cloudy tonight with a couple of showers, low 47. Then tomorrow, Easter Sunday, it will be mostly sunny and pleasant, high 62. Cloudy and colder, a bit of rain for Monday, maybe mixed with wet snowflakes, high 44. Next rad weather from WMIX, Mount Vernon, Illinois.
Into the lava, and I'm trying to keep from going under. Baby, who's on the temperature higher? 'Cause I'm
Oh, yeah, we went there. Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, WMIXsports.com, powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
Yeah, it's what healthcare should be.
Chris Hugo with Mike Richardson and Danny Zerwinski in studio. Good to be back in studio after a week off, of course, at least for me. You guys worked hard as always last week, but a guy we're proud to welcome back to the program each and every week is the head coach of Lady Rams softball, Lance Boldt. Lance, good morning.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Doing pretty good, and I understand, of course, that you'd probably be doing a little bit better if weather and illness hadn't gotten in the way of a couple of Lady Rams softball games this week. But unfortunately, that kind of thing tends to happen where we had some snow over the weekend, and then you lose Tuesday, and then Altsoff's coach had an illness, so you lose Thursday's game. So you've gone, unfortunately, since Friday without playing a game, but maybe it's led to some good practice time.
Yeah, we just had some unfortunate things, but today our JV girls are going down to DeCoin and playing a doubleheader, so it'll be good for them to get a couple games in today. It's supposed to be a nice day, and then we got Waltonville on Monday, varsity at 4:30. So we got some games coming up, and then obviously next week we got Marion and Carbondale conference games, and I think if the weather cooperates, we're going to start getting some games in. It's just it's been so difficult. And the big thing is just keeping these girls motivated and excited each and every day, even though we don't have games. So.
Well, and typically this is where I would ask, are you happy to finally get going into the conference season? But assuming weather permitting on Monday, you're probably just happy to get a game in.
Oh, yeah. We just, we played 4 games. We haven't played at all in over a week. So, we're just looking forward to playing the game. Yesterday we were able to get out and scrimmage, which for us it was as if we're playing a game. But, we're looking forward to Monday.
Minus Monday, the weather the rest of the week looks pretty good. In this case, when you're losing games, and you can't get games, and you got practices going on every day, do you get to a point, maybe mind-numbing at this point, of things to come up with to do with your team to keep their minds fresh and to keep them from having to be bored and saying, oh, my gosh, you got practice again today?
There's some things that I've told the girls there's some things we have to do every day in practice, and some of those things add up to about 45 minutes to an hour of time. So, for at least half the practice, there are just some things that we have to do each and every day. And then for that other hour, we're looking at getting a lot of cuts in or working on certain situations. And, we've only been outside 4 days the whole year. So these last couple of days, we've gotten to go outside, and the girls have just been excited about that. So it hasn't been hard. It's just hard when you're indoors each and every day. And early last week, with it being so cold and the snow, we were inside. And I think that's when it gets tough. There's only so many things you can do. Not that indoor practices aren't helpful, because they are, but after a while, the girls are just itching to get outside.
Itching to get outside, and of course that'll be on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday next week for your team. And it's been a while you haven't played. You played at the Fairfield tournament, got 3rd place. When you're dealing with this situation, do you already have a mind set up of a pitching rotation and or a lineup ready to go and ready whenever that first game does happen after all this time off?
Well, Summer Karch, who going into this year is obviously one of our top pitchers. She came from Mater Dei last year, played at Mount Vernon before that, but she got hurt at DeCoin. Well, actually, she hurt herself at school during strength and conditioning at PE. I wasn't aware of it until the DeCoin game. It definitely affected her, and so we found out a couple of days ago that she's going to be out for a week or two. Hopefully that's it. It's just it's a quad strain, but with that being the case, her being one of our top pitchers, we're going to need Hannah Wright to continue to step up, and then we're going to be looking at other pitchers like Bailey Huff and Lauren Wilson and Casey Little, who's a freshman, to really step up. So, hopefully that'll be a good problem to have when we get into a rotation, because that means we're playing every day. But I definitely want to get Summer Karch back as soon as possible.
Well, and a season that goes into the conference season this coming week, and it's always been an interesting conference race over the past few seasons. Obviously, Mount Vernon's been at or near the top. You've had Altoff with Sarah Burke. Now that she's gone, they were at or near the top. Carbondale is always going to threaten. It seems like it's going to be a great South 7 conference race this year with everybody. And Centralia, of course, coming up. They won the conference title last year. It seems like things are starting to level out in the South 7 conference, which should make things pretty fun over the coming weeks.
Oh yeah. You always enjoy that, the good competition, and it's been that way with basketball, boys, especially here recently, and girls to a certain degree, and just with softball, other than maybe Cahokia, I would assume that all of us are kind of in the same boat. So we want to win the title and compete for that. And, Centralia's good, Marion's good, Carbondale, all tough. So, it's going to be tough.
And, of course, this brings us to our WMIX Sports Social Media Question of the Week. It's now celebrating a year anniversary, which means we're going to repeat our original question today. Obviously, a very deep and spiritual holiday is this weekend. We're kind of exploring the lighter side of that with wanting to know, what is your favorite Easter candy?
Oh, the chocolate bunny, no question about it.
Okay, I've got to ask, just because I will ask anybody that tells me this, solid or hollow?
Solid, I guess.
Oh, thank goodness.
The more chocolate, the better.
Thank goodness. Because to me, as a kid, when you go to the candy route, there was nothing more disappointing than biting into a bunny and finding out that it was just going to crumble on you.
You got that right. Yeah, you want the more chocolate, the better. Absolutely.
Amen.
That is disappointing.
Lance, obviously wish you a happy Easter, and weather permitting, we definitely look forward to seeing you guys on the radio finally on Monday afternoon.
Yeah, looking forward to it, guys. Thanks a lot.
That's always a pleasure. Lance Boldt, of course, head coach of Lady Rams softball, and have our fingers crossed that we will be able to get the Lady Rams in on Monday. Unfortunately, we alone have lost 3 games of coverage, and they've lost more than that over the past few weeks, only 4 games in on the year, and probably miraculous that they've gotten in that 4, but of course 3 of those came in the Fairfield tournament when they took 3rd place. Now at 2-2, Lady Rams will battle Waltonville-SV on Monday at 4:30. That game on AM 940, online at WMIXsports.com. And lest we forget, of course, that we will talk with Lady Spartan softball coach Coleen Stanley here a little bit later on. That'll be in the 9 o'clock hour on the Saturday Sports Show. It's powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
Yeah, it's what healthcare should be.
We'll be back after these.
When an emergency happens, time is everything, and you don't want to spend that time in a waiting room. So choose Crossroads Community Hospital. With our 30 minutes or less ER service pledge, the entire team is committed to working diligently to have you initially seen by a physician, physician assistant, or nurse practitioner within 30 minutes of your arrival. When minutes matter, choose the ER that doesn't waste time. Choose Crossroads Community Hospital. Visit crossroadscommunityhospital.com/faster to learn more. If you are experiencing a medical emergency, call 911.
How do the best continue to get better? Hi, this is Chase Landers with Landers Collision Centers. We're no different than any team. When you're at the top of your game, the best wants to play for you. That's why, with the addition of our new shop foreman and the rest of our body shop crew, Landers now has a combined experience of over 70 years in dealing with the best parts and repair finishes on the market. This means when you walk into Landers, you can breathe a little easier knowing that your vehicle will receive the best quality repair by the best certified technicians within a reasonable amount of time. Again and again, we work directly with most insurance companies and have loaners and rental vehicles on site for your convenience. We're proud to not only be the standard, but to keep raising the bar in collision repair. Come meet the staff, take a tour of our facilities, and get to know the Landers crew that Landers Collision has so proudly acquired. Big or small, Landers fixes them all. Give us a call, 1-888-LANDERS. That's 1-888-LANDERS.
State Farm, this is Jessica.
Hey, Jessica, Jerry Newman. Does State Farm offer more discounts to more drivers?
Yep, like the good driver discount.
So it's for good, but not great drivers.
No, Jerry. There's also the multi-line discount.
For calling from multiple lines while driving.
You should never use a phone while driving.
I only make calls from my car when I'm stuck in a ditch or something.
Are you in a ditch?
Yes, I am.
State Farm offers more discounts to more drivers than any other insurance company. Get to a better state.
One more reason to call State Farm agent Tony Boldt in Mount Vernon at 242-1421.
Back on the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX and WMIXsports.com. It's powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
Yeah, it's what healthcare should be.
Of course, coming at you today, the Powerhouse on Broadway. Glad to be with you. Don't forget you can follow us on Twitter at WMIX Sports. Next guest, he is the head coach of the Pinckneyville Panthers baseball team, Alan Englehardt. We'd like to consider him a friend of the Saturday Sports Show. Coach, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on.
Always a pleasure. We got to talk to you a little bit, at least I did, before the game back in early March, and of course the Rams and Panthers have already met this year, but a rough game at that time for the Panthers, but always a quality team that you have put together. Things seem to be kind of evening out now for Pinckneyville.
Yeah, we're in a situation where we've got a lot of younger kids that we're counting on, and the hope is as the season goes along that they progress, and I think we're starting to see that a little bit.
Going back to last year, you lost a group of veteran kids and not only helped your program win a lot of games, but were very successful throughout their high school careers in multiple sports. How hard is that as a coach to take in a program when you lose a group like that graduated last year from Pinckneyville High School?
Well, it's difficult to replace winners. Not just baseball kids, but kids who have won at like you said, that they won at football, they won at basketball, they won at baseball. And so it's difficult to replace kids who just know how to win, and unless you have another group that's kind of been with them. And so the hope is that these guys who are stepping in this year watched a little bit and saw how that they were successful.
And you have that young group coming out. Of course, everybody battling rain and bad weather, field conditions. Today, battling the fog. How many games have the Panthers got in since that Mount Vernon game?
We've played 8 total so far, so we lost a few there to snow, but we've been a little luckier than some. I know their teams have only played 2, 3, 4 times, so we've kind of been lucky to bounce around some of that weather. But it's definitely difficult right now because your kids need to be swinging every day, and there's just such a difference between hitting in the cage, hitting BP versus facing a live pitcher. So hopefully when the weather turns a little bit warmer, you get in a better swing of things.
And getting in a better swing of things today, who are you battling today and on a Saturday morning?
Well, we're taking off. We've got Trico over at their place at 1:00, so we're gonna take BP around 10, and then head on over and then take on the Pioneers.
Taking on the Pioneers today. The River to River Mississippi Division. Mount Vernon has seen DuQuoin and Pinckneyville. DuQuoin looked very impressive yesterday. How do you think and see the River to River Mississippi Division shaking out this year?
Well, from just an experience standpoint, DuQuoin brings back a ton of kids, and obviously they're talented. They're probably the team that everybody's chasing. But that being said, there are never any easy games in the River to River. You can't take a game off because you go to Carterville and you see the Stearns kid who can really throw the ball. Anna Jonesboro has 3 or 4 kids who can really throw the ball. Sparta has gotten us the last couple of years. They've kind of snuck up on us. Nashville's always solid, and so it's just one of those situations where you can't take anything for granted because you have a bad day, you're going to get beat.
and that brings me to this. So you played Pinckneyville High School baseball, now coming back there to coach, in a town predominantly known for basketball. It seems over the years it's kind of been a quiet thing, but Pinckneyville baseball has been very good over the years, even when you played, and even now, obviously, when you coach, taking them to a couple of state tournament trips.
Well, it's one of those things. We had a group of kids who came through in the mid-2000s who they were another group that just wanted everything, and that they kind of got the thing rolling in the right direction as far as getting some 20-win seasons, and I think the kids who followed that, really, you don't want to be the group that lets that down. And so I think that our 03, 04, 05, 06, when we started really winning in that area, that a lot could be said for those kids getting it rolling, because I think it's very difficult to get the ball rolling on winning.
All right, and the winning is one of those things that comes kind of natural there at Pinckneyville. A lot of things. As you look out from here, what does your schedule look like for you over the next few weeks for Panther baseball?
Well, we finally get into conference. We've kind of had an interesting schedule so far, playing several 3A teams, and it seems like we played 1A or 3A, and so we finally get into the 2A part of our schedule here coming up. It would be nice to be able to just get out, when conference season starts here, if the weather will cooperate, where you can play through your conference schedule and kind of see where you are as you start making plans for postseason.
I asked Tim Kraft this question last week. I asked you. You both have – Coach Kraft has the turf infield at DuQuoin. He's also got the new football field, new turf there at Van Meter. You also, Pinckneyville High School, have that new turf football field this year. How did that help your team as far as getting out early and often in spring practice when maybe the baseball field is too wet and muddy?
Well, we honestly have only practiced on our baseball field, I think 3 or 4 times the entire spring so far. So, the turf field has been huge. Just like yesterday, we got that early morning rain shower, and so we just moved practice from the field out to the football field, and you take your complete round to infield and get to do some of those things. The only thing that you can't do, obviously, is get some BP on the field there, but I think that we're right on schedule defensively. It's our pitching against live hitters and our offense that struggles for not being on the field. But it has been a huge help having a multi-purpose field there to kind of get out and work on that. I know it's helped the softball team as well.
And that has helped your team well, playing Trico this afternoon in that situation. Regional-wise, what regional are you going to be in when May comes around?
Let's see. I know that it is DuQuoin and Benton and Waltonville and ourselves, and I'm forgetting somebody. I I haven't even looked at the place, to be honest. But we've just kind of started putting together who's scouting who for that. So that's down the line where we're just going to concentrate on getting into conference here to start with, and getting some good scouting reports on those teams in our regional.
Okay, well, we'll give you a little bit easier question right now than that one. That one's kind of put you on the spot. This one's a little easier. As you know, we have our social media question of the week, and this week's question is, what is your favorite Easter candy?
Favorite Easter candy? I'm a traditionalist. I'll go with the old chocolate Easter bunny. My family still gives me one each year, even though I'm 33 years old. So
you can't be that old yet, are you? Really?
The bunny is definitely a favorite of mine.
Are you really that old?
Yes, I am.
You haven't been to Pinckneyville High School that long.
Wow.
Wow.
Well,
I did not believe that.
Okay, this is where I come in. I've got to ask: solid chocolate bunny or hollow chocolate bunny? Because this is important.
Solid chocolate bunny. You give me all the chocolate you got.
Oh, thank goodness. Now, and I was just talking with another guest about the same thing. Is it not disappointing when you don't know if it's solid or hollow, and you bite in and it starts to crumble on you, and there's not very much chocolate?
That is a definite disappointment, and it's also got to be the real milk chocolate. Don't give me the fake that they try to pawn off sometimes.
Are you saying like Dove and Hershey's? Is that where you're going, or you want?
Yeah, just some of it's like artificial, chocolate, whatever.
And it's grainy.
I want the milk chocolate.
That grainy chocolate, like it's not smooth. It's just real. I know exactly what you mean. And if you love the solid chocolate bunny, I don't know if you've ever had the Cadbury one, but it is delicious.
Okay, I may have to try that then.
Coach, thank you for taking the time to join us today. Of course, a happy Easter to you and yours, and we look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thank you. Have a happy Easter, too, and thank you for having us on and promoting the kids.
Always a pleasure. That is Coach Alan Englehardt, of course. You may have remembered him from basketball season as head coach of Lady Panthers basketball, but also the very successful Pinckneyville Panther baseball coach. Always glad to have him on WMIX, and probably glad that it was a question this time that wasn't music related. It seems like he's always kind of fallen in the pattern.
He's gotten in the music category, yeah.
And we do know from that, though, that he is a big Foo Fighters fan.
Well, from that, over the next few weeks, there are different questions that have popped into my head. Having spring break this past week, listen to different things, spawn ideas. You got to know when to put the idea machine down and stop with things, but when you get something like this, it's somebody everybody can answer, and everybody's answering it on Facebook because we're getting several responses on Facebook.
I've seen a variety on Facebook. Yes. Thus far on the show, it's been chocolate bunny.
And thus far on the responses, basically it's been the Reese's peanut butter eggs.
Really?
Yep, chocolate peanut butter
eggs. You know what? By goodness. We have time when we come back. We need to take a break. We'll come back and hopefully give you our answers here on the Saturday Sports Show to what is your favorite Easter candy. Obviously, we know the deep spiritual meaning of the holiday. We're just trying to kind of display the lighter side of that today here on the Saturday Sports Show. We hope that you'll chime in, Facebook.com/WMIX Sports, or tweet us at WMIX Sports on the Twitterverse. We'll come back, give you our answers here in just a moment on the Saturday Sports Show, powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
Yeah, it's what healthcare should be.
We will be back after these.
America is a nation on wheels. Everyone has at least one automobile. We use them for shopping, work, everything we do. But they can be a threat. Some accidents can't be prevented. Your professional Pekin Insurance Agency, Page Insurance on Crownview and Mount Vernon, can help protect you from a large financial loss when an accident happens. Call Page Insurance today at 242-7000 about low-cost auto insurance from Pekin Insurance. Ask them about the many money-saving discounts that are available. Depend on your hometown professionals.
Pekin Insurance.
Hi, I'm Elaine. I've been a nurse with Good Samaritan for many, many years. One of the best things about my job is knowing that I work for a hospital that cares so much about the community. We're dedicated to attracting the best physicians and investing in the most advanced medical technologies. Whether it's radiology, oncology, or advanced heart care, we provide some of the nation's most advanced treatment options right here in Southern Illinois. That way patients never have to travel far from their families to receive the care they need. I'm always happy when families come visit, and starting in 2013, that sort of thing will happen even more. That's when Good Samaritan opens our all-new regional health center. Everything about the new center has been designed with patients in mind. It features all private rooms and family-friendly areas that make it easier for visitors to stay overnight. I can't wait to see what Good Samaritan does with this exciting new facility.
Good Samaritan Regional Health Center. Raising a hospital, raising the bar.
Southern Illinois now has a better home for sports. It's the all-new WMIXSports.com. Jam-packed with local scores, video highlights, and archives of every local sports broadcast on WMIX. Did your team win? Missed that game-winning shot last night? Didn't catch your favorite coach on the Saturday Sports Show? WMIXSports.com is right at your fingertips. On your computer, your smartphone, your tablet, or your video game console. It's the all-new WMIXSports.com. Another free service from Withers Broadcasting.
And we welcome you back. Saturday sports shows on WMIX. WMIXSports.com. It's powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
Yeah, it's what healthcare should be.
Always glad to have you with us. Thank you for taking the time to tune in today. Talking some high school baseball, high school softball. We'll have high school track talk as well. Clint Turner of the Mount Vernon Rams, Runnin Rams, will join us later on in the 9 o'clock hour. We'll talk some other things other than track with him as well. Always good to have Clint stop by, even if it is over the phone.
Oh, yeah.
Hey.
Yes.
WMIX Sports social media question of the week, if you just heard, is celebrating its first anniversary. We have not repeated a question yet. That changes today, of course, as it is Easter Eve. We are asking you your favorite Easter candy. Trying to go a little bit lighter today, and of course the answers have all been the same pretty well on the air, just some differences in the variety of set candy. But tweet us up at WMIX Sports. We're on Facebook.com/WMIX Sports, as well as we want to know your favorite Easter candy. And so far, we've had plenty of Reese's Eggs. We've had chocolate bunnies. We've had some that I don't really know how they're considered Easter candy because they're available year-round in the same form. But we've had some good ones. Some Brock's has been name dropped.
Yep.
That's Brock's.
Yeah.
Brock's. How's that even Brock's?
I don't know.
I mean, the A does some funky things in the English language. I mean, it does pretty well whatever you ask.
A lot of
of
times letters don't play fair combinations.
They don't. Look at Y. How would you feel if you were the letter Y? Would you not have an identity crisis as a consonant and then sometimes a vowel? I know
some people count it as a vowel, and I'm like, no, it's not. And then you get that argument.
It only is sometimes. And that's because it seems to take the place of the I at times. And that's when it becomes a vowel. Am I not mistaken? Or am I right? I don't even know. Anyhow, what is your favorite Easter candy? Either of you. Any of you. Somebody.
Well, since it's been a hot topic, and I'm sure I answered this the same way last time, but it's got to be the chocolate bunny. But I think you've added a little intrigue to it because of solid or hollow. I think of years and years of research on this. Trust me, Mr. Chocoholic in the room here. The quality of chocolate is better in the hollow bunny because sometimes that solid bunny, you don't get near the quality of chocolate. Now, more modern here, maybe the quality's gotten a little bit better, but it seems like the purity, the quality of chocolate is a little better in the hollow. You never want to pass up getting more, but I would have to tend, if the trend stayed the same, I'd probably have to go hollow.
Oh, Michael.
I'm telling you.
I understand your logic.
You understand my logic there? Now, if I haven't had a bunny in a while, but now if the quality is back, definitely got to have the solid one, no doubt about it, because you get more bang for the buck.
But, not necessarily. The solid ones have gone up in price.
Well, no,
I don't know if you've been shopping for any.
No, I haven't. It's been a while. It's been a while.
Now, aren't the ones with the painted-on eyes? Those are hollow, aren't they? You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, the actual candy eyes and mouth and everything. Yeah, they're hollow, painted on, whatnot. Yes.
Now they try to fool you because there's some that are solid, but only in the sense that they're filling inside and they're filled with some marshmallow goo. Nasty.
That's not even. That's totally nasty. That's not even in the equation at all.
Yuck. I can't do that. DC. I think I know yours.
Yeah, it's basically everybody knows mine. Reese's chocolate peanut butter eggs and or the sweet tart chicks and bunnies. I can have those.
Reese Barnfield, I know.
Yeah.
Is a peanut butter egg guy. Reese's brand, of course. Some people call it Reese's, and I'm not sure how that develops. It's a guy named Reese.
Soda and soda.
Well, it's a guy named Reese, and it's a case of possession, which is why there's an apostrophe there. It's not plural. Heaven forbid we get in that argument.
Yes.
But H.B. Reese or H.R. Reese, Puff and Stuff, who knows? But that's a good answer. When I'm at somebody else's house, I love the sweet tart chicks and bunnies. Amazing. Love them.
I wonder where that is.
Yeah. But My favorite would have to be a tie between the Cadbury Cream Egg and then the Cadbury Mini Egg. So I'm a Cadbury guy. I'm their product pitchman, in case you didn't know, over here in the Americas. Crow says malted eggs. I think Whoppers has a version now where they kind of took the robin eggs and malted them. And, of course, robin eggs might be malted anyway. I don't even remember. I don't eat them. I'm a Cadbury Cream Egg guy. I do like the Reese's Eggs, but if I had to nail it down, which is always tough for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there we go. I think we've settled our answers there. You can join the discussion on Facebook, facebook.com/WMIX Sports. Hit us up on the Twitterverse as well. We'd love to hear from you on this Easter weekend.
That's
of course.
a good point. God, can I jump in here real quick?
Yeah. Why don't you? Go ahead.
I'm going to. What is the actual stuff in the Cadbury Cream Eggs? I've been texted. Do we really know what's in the middle of those eggs?
I'm going to tell you right now. I hope it's not like my good friend the hot dog and that we don't really want to know.
You might not want to know, really. Seriously.
Like Twinkies? I mean,
yeah,
really?
like yellow dye number 5, I'm sure is in there.
Yellow number 5 is...
It's pretty common.
We've all heard the rumors about that over the years.
Exactly.
That's a story for Snopes.
Third eyeballs and...
Well, you have part of that phrasing right.
Yeah.
Maybe not the number or the second adjective.
Gotcha.
You have the noun.
Yeah.
But as we near the 9 o'clock hour on the Saturday Sports
Extra
Show,
bags for all your eggs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or
it's important to
maybe,
have that.
Or maybe no bags for all of your eggs, as the case may be, as they tell you with that. But this is a sports show, apparently.
Careful, a sports show is going to break out here in a minute.
Oh, my gosh, and it will in the 9 o'clock hours.
Yeah.
As you hear from a sponsor there quickly.
Yeah, there you go.
Somebody forgot to turn a pot down at the top of the hour.
That happens.
But yeah, Easter candy, it's Easter weekend. We do want to hear from you. Hit us up on Facebook. And if you want to email us, I mean, you can email us as well. Do it from a smartphone. WMIXsports@myweathersradio.com. We'll pick it up here in the WMIX studios. But all in all, that's our question of the week. We're celebrating the year anniversary of the WMIX Sports social media question, and we want to hear from you this week. And we hope that you'll continue to appreciate this question because we're going to try not to repeat over the course of next year. This is just something that we're probably going to dig out every year this time.
I've already got 4 or 5 new ones coming on the list. Of course, this changes. I mean, it's just kind of what strikes you every, something happens, something goes on.
Because I change my mind from day to day, so I may not have the same answer next year, even though I probably will.
From our crack research department.
Yeah.
It is yellow number 6.
Oh.
That has been upgraded from yellow 5. So yellow 6 in the eggs.
Okay. I think 6 has less side effects than... Less assumed side effects.
They don't know
5.
much about 6 yet.
No, give them 25 years and your intestines might rot out or something. Mm-hmm. All that aside, though, great day on the Saturday Sports Show. Fog is still pretty thick here in the King City along Broadway. We're in the powerhouse and need to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk Wayne City Lady Indians softball with Coach Joe Bernard as he will make his debut on the Saturday Sports Show today. We're glad to be talking Wayne City sports here on WMIX. We need to take a break. We're powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
We'll be back after these.
Critics rave about the Rend Lake College Theater's presentation of Into the Woods. Thanks to Mother Nature, you have one more chance to see Into the Woods at the Rend Lake College Theater this Saturday at 7 p.m. Sunday's show is postponed due to the weather, so those tickets will be accepted at the door. If you didn't already have tickets, take a look at The Darker Side of Fairy Tales this Saturday night at 7. Tickets are just $12 at the door, or call the box office at 437-5321, extension 1467.
Jim Bohannon, weeknights at 9. This is AM 940 WMIX Mount Vernon, Southern Illinois' radio home.
The Medicine Shop wants to become your pharmacy of choice. It's so easy to transfer your prescription. All it takes is a phone call from you. And the Medicine Shop will take care of the rest. They accept Medco, TRICARE, Express Scripts, and many 90-day plans as well. Plus, you'll find their pharmacy staff so helpful. No long wait times, no hassles getting in and out of their pharmacy. Here's pharmacist and pharmacy owner Eric Black.
In almost every case, if a person has PPO or HMO insurance where they pay a copay at the cash register, that copay will be identical wherever you go. And even if your card says Humana or Walmart or Walgreens, chances are you can use that prescription card anywhere. Just to be sure, give us a call and we can tell you over the phone if that's the case with your specific plan.
Don't forget to ask the Medicine Shop about delivery service to your home or workplace. Convenience and friendliness, all for the same cost. Only at the Medicine Shop, 2339 Broadway in Mount Vernon.
Hi, I'm Bria Ashby with Community First Bank. It's always my goal to make the transition to Community First Bank as easy as possible for our customers. Our handy switch kit helps in doing just that. Whether it's direct deposit, auto transfers, or online banking, I'm here to help. Come see me at our 42nd Street location to open your account today and let me remind you how banking should be. Community First Bank with locations in Mount Vernon, Woodlawn, Dix, and Ina. Welcome back to Personal Banking. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
I'm Kevin Snyder with a look at your next rad weather. Widespread dense fog this morning, then we'll see clouds and some sunshine with a shower or two late in the day, high around 60. Mostly cloudy tonight with a couple of showers, low 47. Then tomorrow, Easter Sunday, it will be mostly sunny and pleasant, high 62. Cloudy and colder, a bit of rain for Monday, maybe mixed with wet snowflakes, high 44. Next rad weather from WMIX, Mount Vernon, Illinois.
And the Saturday Sports Show returns. WMIX, WMIXSports.com. Chris Hugo with Danny Zerwinski and Mike Richardson for you. Follow us on the Twitterverse at WMIX Sports. We're presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
Yeah, it's what healthcare should be.
It is what healthcare should be, indeed. We're proud to welcome a new guest to the lineup today. Head coach of the Wayne City Lady Indians softball. He is Joe Bernard. Coach, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
You know, doing pretty good. Lady Indians, I should say, have a bit of a nice start to the season in the Fairfield tournament, of course. Have an epic battle with Salem in the fifth-place game. Come up just a little bit short, I believe, in 8 or 9 innings, 3-2 in that. But you put together a nice set of wins, of course, over, if I'm not mistaken, Gallatin County and Sisney just over the course of this past week. So things seem to be going pretty well over there in Wayne County.
Yeah, we've won 3 out of our last 4. It started with a game against Fairfield. And then you mentioned Gallatin County and Sisney this past week. So, yeah, we've 3 of our last 4 games. We've really played well and started hitting the ball. So that's been nice.
Your team begins this year in 2013. Talk about some of the players you're going to have and be relying on this spring season.
We have a great mix of players. We have some excellent senior leadership. We have 3 seniors on the team. Starts with Haley Spicer. Haley's our number 1 pitcher, and as a coach, we're blessed to have 2 very strong pitchers on the team, and Haley is a consummate professional. She's very good at what she does. She controls the strike zone. She throws multiple pitches, and she's an excellent team leader. We have Megan Flover, who hits right in the middle of our lineup. She's an excellent outfielder, and Andrea Musgrave, who plays an excellent first base. And those are our 3 senior leaders on the team, and we rely on them pretty heavily.
Relying on them pretty heavily with all the weather going on, winter and spring weather combined sometimes. How many games and practices have you guys been able to get outside and have?
Well, we have 8 games under our belt, believe it or not. We're 4-4, and like you said, we've won 3 out of our last 4, so that's nice. But we've had some cold games. We went down to Benton last week, and I think the game time temperature was 34 degrees, wind chill 21, something like that. It has to be the coldest game that I've ever been a part of, and it was chilly. As far as practices, we're in the same boat as everyone else. We've been stuck in the gym for about a month straight, it seems like, and just every now and then we get to venture out, but not very often.
When you get to venture out, and this week you get to venture out into conference play a little bit on the schedule, talk about some of the teams and you see as being favorites in the Midland Trail Conference this spring.
I think there's some good teams in the conference. I think the top 3 have got to be in whatever order. I think they've got to be Woodlawn, Waltonville, and Wayne City. We were fortunate enough last season to get through our regular season conference schedule undefeated. Obviously, we'd love to be able to do that again this year, and we face Woodlawn on Monday. That's going to be a tough matchup. We played them twice last year, and we were fortunate to come away with 2 victories, but they were both very, very close, very hard-fought games.
Close, hard-fought game. I talked about, Wayne City is not known for girls' athletics, especially maybe on the girls' basketball side and volleyball side. Is the softball slowly starting to catch up and take a hand there in Wayne City as far as softball goes?
Yeah, we have a good group of girls that take it seriously. They work hard. When I say a good group, it's really a group of girls that's probably spread out over about 6 years and 6 classes. 5 years ago, we I don't know that we won a conference game. And every year we've been improving. Like I said, last season we went through the conference undefeated during the regular season. But that's not our total focus this year. We're not only interested in a strong conference schedule, but we want to do some damage in the postseason. That's really what we're looking forward to.
Looking much for on your team right now. Of course, goes into conference play. You also have some games coming up, conference tournament at the end of the year as well. You also have the likes of Hamilton County on the schedule and Fairfield as well. How does that help you, being a 1A softball team in Southern Illinois, playing those bigger 2A schools?
Oh, it's a tremendous benefit for us. We, in our first 6 games of the year, we only saw one 1A team. In those first 6 games, we were playing Carterville, El Dorado, Benton, Fairfield. So, having that stronger competition, and Salem that you had mentioned, having that stronger competition early in the year certainly helps us. It doesn't help our record at the beginning of the year, but it helps us prepare for the season.
Helping you prepare for the season, and we want to help you prepare for our WMIX Sports Social Media Question of the Week. And this week's question is, what is your favorite Easter candy?
See, someone told me you were going to ask me a question like that. My favorite Easter candy.
Yeah, who told you that we were going to ask questions like that?
Well, that would be my assistant coach, Deidre Day.
Yeah.
She said, be ready, because it's coming.
So she's got to be pretty tough to keep in line come spring, huh?
No comment. Favorite Easter candy? I'm old school. I'm going old school, and I want the chocolate bunny that weighs about 2 pounds. And I'm not talking about the hollow thing.
Oh, thank goodness.
Solid chocolate bunny that takes like 2 or 3 hours to eat.
Okay.
By going solid, you just definitely earned yourself another appearance on the Saturday Sports Show. But I say that in jest, but that's been the common on-air answer today. And solid, of course, you even went with solid without me having to ask you, and I appreciate that immensely. But, Coach, obviously we wish you the best of luck. We know you have Woodlawn coming up on Monday, weather permitting. Good luck to the Lady Indians the rest of the way in conference play and as they head into the postseason.
Appreciate it. Thanks for the phone call.
Thank you for having us, or thank you for coming on today. That's Joe Bernard, of course, head coach of the Lady Indians. And don't know if he was listening or not, but he certainly knew whether to say hollow or solid right off, and we appreciate that. And you know what? It's Easter Eve. Favorite Easter candy is what we want to know.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to believe it's been a year of that. Like most ideas come and go. Like I get spur of the moment type things. It's like, oh, this will be the next new thing, and then 4 weeks later, But you came in. Where were we? We were somewhere. We were together, obviously. Probably going to a game, coming from a game, and you just out of nowhere said, you know what? This Saturday we should ask what people's favorite Easter candy is, since it is Easter Eve. I think we were going around taking pictures in the WMIX Sports Mobile Studios. It was Good Friday last year when we came up with this.
Mm-hmm. Nice sunny day, and we were driving around.
Because we were driving around before, because we were trying to desperately catch up with Jeff Harrison, and we had to record him.
Yes.
I remember, because
before
he had
we went to Belleville East.
Yeah.
And we were driving around getting pictures for us to use in various locations. And for some reason it came to my mind to spur something on. I mean, you see all these polls all the time on different websites and shows, and we, of course, wanted to add something different, besides promoting the kids, promoting coaches, promoting schools. We thought, what would be our best way to do some things a little differently, and that's what we came up with.
Yeah, and it's been solid for a year. And speaking of solid, our favorite Iowan, I think it's Iowan, if you're from Iowa, I don't know. But actually the voice of the Saturday Sports Show, Paxton Guy, says something about solid. Ham, solid. I see what he did there. Mm-hmm. Always a joker. But Saturday Sports Show, well, we're on. We have more softball to talk here on WMIX and WMIXsports.com. Don't forget our Saturday Sports Show. It's our WMIX social media question of the week. It's on Twitter at WMIX Sports, Facebook.com/WMIX Sports as well. What is your favorite Easter candy? We want to know. We also want to know what's going on with Waltonville-SV softball. We'll talk with Coleen Stanley after the break here on WMIX, powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
We'll be back after these.
With 2 new hospitals, trusted physicians, and dedicated staff, it's clear that our local healthcare industry is helping to make our community stronger every day. Hi, I'm Terry Prosize, a commercial lender and healthcare banking specialist at Community First Bank. I'm putting over 20 years of healthcare and business experience to work for our medical community and local businesses. Whether you have an expanding physician practice, an existing business, or hoping to start a new business, I have the financial prescription for you.
Community First Bank with locations in Mount Vernon, Woodlawn, Dixon, Ina. Welcome back to Personal Banking. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
When an emergency happens, time is everything, and you don't want to spend that time in a waiting room. So choose Crossroads Community Hospital. With our 30 minutes or less ER service pledge, the entire team is committed to working diligently to have you initially seen by a physician, physician assistant, or nurse practitioner within 30 minutes of your arrival. When minutes matter, choose the ER that doesn't waste time. Choose Crossroads Community Hospital. Visit crossroadscommunityhospital.com/faster to learn more. If you are experiencing a medical emergency, call 911.
Zero, zip, zilch, nada. The goose egg is by far my favorite number when it comes to financing. And now, 0% financing is backed by popular demand. Hi, Roy Schmidt Chrysler dealer at King City Chrysler Center in Mount Vernon. That's right, qualified buyers can get 0% financing for up to 84 months through Ally Financial on the 2013 Chrysler 200 Touring and Limited models. And that's not all. You'll even get $1,000 in customer cash. The Motor City has reclaimed its name with the 2013 Chrysler 200. From the state-of-the-art engine to its rank as an IIHS top safety pick. You'll love everything it has to offer. Come see one of our associates about 0% financing plus $1,000 customer cash at King City Chrysler Center, 1603 Broadway in Mount Vernon, or see our inventory online at kingcitychrysler.com. And find us on Facebook.
Saturday Sports Show continues. WMIX, WMIXSports.com. It's powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
Yeah, it's what healthcare should be.
Glad to have you with us. We're well into hour number 2 now, talking high school softball. We welcome to the program a familiar voice from a year ago. Coleen Stanley, of course, is the head coach of Waltonville-SV. Lady Spatans on a nice start to their season. We will get to see them, hopefully, weather permitting, on Monday as they battle the Lady Rams. Coach, good morning.
Hi, how are you?
You know what? Doing pretty good. We've been getting some games in lately, and after the winter weather from last week kind of surprised us all, it seems like people have been able to finally start getting back out to the field. How have things been going weather-wise, field-wise for the Lady Spartans?
Well, we was able to get a game in on Thursday. We ended up playing Salem at our place on Thursday, and that was the only game we got in all last week.
Getting that game in. Before we get that going on, talk about some of your kids. I believe you got Megan Eskew returning back on your team and everything as well. Talk about some of the kids you're relying on for this spring season.
Well, we're really relying on everybody. We got a good team this year. Got a lot of kids with a lot of talent. Megan is our senior pitcher. We've had her since her freshman year, so she's got a lot riding on her, and she's signed to Kaskaskia College, so she's going to be a huge help for us this year. We also, Hannah Witter, sophomore, is our catcher. She's got a good bat, got good speed. And we also have Rebecca Ratajic is another senior, started since her freshman year, and we got Mariah Miller, a senior this year, playing first base for us with a huge bat. So we got a lot of good girls.
You co-op, obviously Waltonville and Centerville are a long history of co-oping in many different sports, and you have a team and program's been successful at girls basketball, volleyball, and softball as well. This year's group seems to get along very well, both on and off the floor and field. How is that coaching when you have two different schools working on two different schedules during the year and season?
It does present a challenge from the schedule point of view because, Sesser has their banquets and sports banquets going on different nights, and than Waltonville does. So there is some scheduling conflicts, but we just kind of go with what we can get and just kind of make do with what we have, which, as far as the girls' camaraderie, they're awesome. They like to, they hang out, like you said, off the field, and we have no problems on the field, and it works out really well.
This week and coming up, you have at the end of next week, actually a week from today, to be honest, there we go. It's the Waltonville Invitational. The baseball and softball teams both host tournaments next week. Talk about the teams who are participating in the Waltonville Invitational next week.
We got Galatia, Wayne City, and West Frankfort coming down Saturday, and us.
mini tournament going on. Midland Trail Conference seems to be getting more and more competitive over the years since the time that you played in conference play for Waltonville. Talk about the teams you see as being favorites as far as Midland Trail is concerned this spring.
Woodlawn's always good. We have been out of the conference for the past few years, so this is our first year back in the conference. But I know Woodlawn will be tough. Will be the one probably to beat. I don't have a lot of experience with the other teams. Like you said, we weren't in the conference last year, so as far as everybody else, I'm not 100% sure.
A nice schedule as we move on from there. You add the likes on conference of ZRC. You also have Oakville, Nashville on there. And one thing it's Pinckneyville as well. You also have the Nashville tournament. That is a nice step up for your team to get into a tournament like that and play the quality teams that'll be in that Nashville tournament.
Oh, yeah. That's good competition. And we played Nashville. We've already played Nashville once at Dupo. We play round robin at Dupo, Nashville. And so we'll see them several times throughout the year, which it's always good to play teams that are better than you because that just makes you even better. You know, even whether you know it or not, you still get better.
And you get better. And I got to ask this because I always ask a lot of coaches and stuff different questions like this. From the time you played in high school, college to now, what's one of the major things you have seen change since you have gotten out of softball from the playing side now into the coaching side?
Well, it seems like girls are playing more than whenever I did. Like all the girls played summer ball, and there's a lot of winter ball that's being played now too. So the competition just keeps getting tougher and tougher. And not only are they playing in the wintertime, but then off season they have pitching lessons, hitting lessons, private lessons that they do all the time. So these girls are just playing all year round, and that makes this competition really tough whenever it comes, season time, and then everybody's good. So it just keeps getting better and better.
Also forgot to mention a Crab Orchard tournament as well. So it looks to me like you've done a very good job of getting in. You had the Mount Vernon tournament, which was postponed. You have your own invitational, Nashville, the Midland Trail, and Crab Orchard. It's an ability for you and your program to kind of get out and play a mix of teams on your schedule that maybe normally you wouldn't get to play.
Right, yeah. So, and that's mostly our AD. I mean, he does a good job getting us into different teams and playing all over, which is good experience for everybody. That way you're not just playing the same team and know what to expect. You're playing Crab Orchard, who, we only see once a year. So it's good to get out and play different teams.
Good to get out and do different things. And this leads us to our WMIX Sports social media question of the week. And it is, what is your favorite Easter candy?
Easter candy? Probably would be the Reese's eggs. I like those.
Yes, good answer. That's what I like, too, as well.
Always a great choice, and, Coach, we look forward to, hopefully, weather permitting, getting to see you guys on Monday as the Lady Rams come to town.
Yeah.
So see you. Have a happy Easter. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. All right, bye-bye.
And there we go.
Waltonville, Cesar Valera, good co-op, good situation between the schools. Waltonville over the years has been pretty good in softball. Of course, got that regional championship last year. We lost to Woodlawn and went to the sectional final. That, in fact, was over at Wayne City to connect the dots, in fact. And Coleen Stanley, a former Waltonville player in her career, went to McKendree and now coaches the Lady Spatans there at Waltonville. And again, if they can get that game in on Monday, be great to have. And, of course, next weekend at Waltonville, got to mention this, we'll pub it again next week, is the Waltonville Invitational for both baseball and softball going on at the Diamonds there in Waltonville. And a good opportunity for people in this area to get out and see some different high school baseball and softball teams.
It is, and one of the premier tournaments, of course, for both sides of the gender, baseball and softball. And we'll, of course, pub that next week.
Got to mention the Lady Panther Invitational. Just got a tweet. Is going on today with games all throughout today, games till 7 o'clock. Last weekend they lasted till like midnight. No, just kidding. It was 9:30, 10 o'clock. But some of the games early on, 9 o'clock, Johnson City, Pinckneyville. 11 a.m., Carterville, Altamont. The winner of the 9 a.m. game between Johnson City and Pinckneyville plays Columbia at 1. And they'll play all throughout today, games till 7 p.m.
Of course, Rams baseball today still on. 11 o'clock is your first pitch, scheduled first pitch for Game 1 of the doubleheader against the East Peoria Raiders. Your home for every pitch of Rams baseball is WMIX and WMIXsports.com. So about a 10:45 pregame, which means it'll probably be closer to about 10:35 if I had to guess. So all of that said, we have another break. We need to talk Runnin Rams track with Clint Turner. They're on a roll this season. They defended successfully their title at the Racer Invitational down there at Murray State, even with some of their key elements missing at the Prep Times meet last week. And then yesterday they go to the tough O'Fallon relays. Triad, I don't think people understand how good of a track program Triad has up there. Triad wins the 2A. Mount Vernon gets second. Rams finished 5th overall, so not a bad finish yesterday. We'll talk with Clint Turner about all of that coming up. Presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
Yeah, it's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
Southern Illinois now has a better home for sports. It's the all-new WMIXsports.com. Jam-packed with local scores, video highlights, and archives of every local sports broadcast on WMIX. Did your team win? Missed that game-winning shot last night? Didn't catch your favorite coach on the Saturday Sports Show? WMIXsports.com is right at your fingertips. On your computer, your smartphone, your tablet, or your video game console. It's the all-new WMIXsports.com. Another free service from Withers Broadcasting.
How do the best continue to get better? Hi, this is Chase Landers with Landers Collision Centers. We're no different than any team. When you're at the top of your game, the best want to play for you. That's why, with the addition of our new shop foreman and the rest of our body shop crew, Landers now has a combined experience of over 70 years in dealing with the best parts and repair finishes on the market. This means when you walk into Landers, you can breathe a little easier knowing that your vehicle will receive the best quality repair by the best certified technicians within a reasonable amount of time. Again and again, we work directly with most insurance companies and have loaners and rental vehicles on site for your convenience. We're proud to not only be the standard, but to keep raising the bar in collision repair. Come meet the staff, take a tour of our facilities, and get to know the Landers crew that Landers Collision has so proudly acquired. Big or small, Landers fixes them all. Give us a call, 1-888-LANDERS. That's 1-888-LANDERS.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Stand a little taller. Doesn't mean I'm lonely when I'm alone. What doesn't kill you makes a fighter.
And we welcome you back to the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, WMIXsports.com. Chris Hugo with Danny Zerwinski and Mike Richardson in studio for you in the Powerhouse. So glad you could join us on Easter Eve. We want to know we do want to know. Our social media question of the week is posted on Facebook and Twitter. We're at WMIX Sports. Glad to welcome our next guest to the program. He is the very successful head coach of Runnin Rams Track and Field, Clint Turner. Coach, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are we doing?
Pretty good. I imagine you're doing fairly well. You guys go to a tough O'Fallon relay invitational yesterday. You finished second amongst 2A teams behind a very good triad program, 5th overall. And last week, of course, you have some kids with successful runs and finishes at the Illinois Prep Top Times meet. Not only that, you successfully defend your title down at Murray State. So all in all, things I have to imagine going pretty well for Runnin Rams Track.
Yeah, we're pleased where we're at. The weather's a big factor in what we do, and in some ways, the weather's affected some events in a poorly way, and some of the weather conditions have actually, I think, helped us a little bit. Our distance guys haven't really been able to do a lot on the track, but they've been able to really build their fitness and get some long runs in out on the roads like we're doing right now. We're out tooling around up and down Casey in the fog right now. And that's helped us. So, yeah, we're off to a pretty good start. Guys were a little disappointed with not getting the win yesterday over Triad, and we knew Triad was going to be a good team and a solid team in the meet, and it turns out they were. We just came up, I think we were about 4.5 points short. We were behind them.
We've talked to baseball and softball coaches, and that's a little different, obviously. Dirt infields and grass fields and such, and they get games and practices canceled, have to go inside. How does the weather, as it has been lately for track teams, how does that affect meets and schedules and practices like that?
Well, as much as anything, like we ran up at Salem. We ran the triangular with Marion and Salem last Thursday. And it was about 35 to maybe it might have been around 40 degrees, but by mid-meet and late in the meet, it was down into the low 30s. You can run in the cold. You just, as a runner, you got to take care of yourself. Obviously, you got to wear some clothes and get yourself prepared to run in the cold, making sure that you're good and warmed up. It's the wind as much as anything. I mean, even the rain and the snow doesn't really affect you as much as the wind, and that's what beats you up and makes it so much colder. But obviously, trying to run against a stiff wind makes it makes it a little tough. So, we tell our guys that we're going to take a hard hat, blue collar approach to the sport, and where I feel some programs maybe shy away from those kind of conditions. I don't know if we embrace them, but we just take them on head on. And you can't control the weather. You can control certain things in your program, like wearing enough clothes and having yourself prepared. And you just go with the weather and let it get you, and then deal with it.
I look at your schedule, and you have a lot of the same meets on the schedule. One of them that stands out to me is the Jackson Invitational, Jackson, Missouri, next week. They run some good track down there in Jackson, Missouri. How did you come across that meet as far as going out of state for that track meet?
Well, and you're right. It's a good meet, and it's new for us. We, in the past, traditionally for many, many, many years, had always gone to Belleville West and the old Mineral Area Invitational, which is an old meet over in the metro area. And I just felt that our program, it's such a high-level meet, our good kids got some benefits from it. They were able to compete. I felt maybe some of our younger kids really didn't get a lot out of it. And if anything, I think it worked against us a little bit. And we started looking into going some different places, and we can always go north, but north, again, sometimes the weather or whatever dictates some things that way. So we started looking at Kentucky. We've been to Murray a few years now. And, going 2 hours south, a lot better conditions, but it's against people that you don't ever see. Unfortunately, with our sport, we keep seeing the same people a lot of times, week in and week out, so that gets a little stale and old. And I just kind of got on the Internet and started looking at some different places nearby. I even looked into the Evansville area. There was a couple places, couple meets we were interested in there. But I came across this meet in Jackson. Murfreesboro goes to this meet and has gone to it for many, many years. I talked to their coaching staff, and they said and highly recommended that we enjoy the meet. It's run well. It's a boy-girl meet. So we're going to go try it out. And you're right. They in the Boot Hill, Missouri, between Jackson and Cape Central, Cape Notre Dame, a lot of those schools in that area run really, really, really good track. And we're looking forward to going down there next weekend.
Well, it's something that I've noticed, and your emails are godsends, I will say that right now, but I was very impressed that last week, not only defending the title at Murray State, but that you had, for the first time ever, a Ram run the steeplechase.
Yeah, we had two. Actually, two. And I wasn't down there. I was up with the guys that were in the indoor state meet in Bloomington, and the guys are always kind of digging me about, hey, Coach, I want to run the steeple. And I keep telling them, guys, you don't want to run the steeple. That's the worst event ever invented. I mean, it's brutal. You've got the hurdles, which they're not hurdles. They're actually immovable barriers.
All right.
You've got 4 of those. One of them is over and into a water jump. If you've ever been on a college track, you see the steeplechase course there. And it's over 2,000 meters, which, so it's about, it's a mile and a half. It's tough. Well, unbeknownst to me, I got a text message from Coach McCoy during the meet, Jake Wilson, and I wasn't surprised that Jake wanted to do it. And he got in there and went, and Adam Donahoe, which I think he got coerced by Jake, they're buddies, and they ran it. So, and Jake ended up winning the darn thing.
I got to ask, so when Mount Vernon gets this new high school and this new track facility, are they going to be like the forefathers of the Mount Vernon steeplechase program?
No.
And we're not going to have steeplechase out there?
No, there will not be a steeplechase pit on our track.
So this be one of those things where you have to run this event when Coach Turner is not around? Is that how that works?
I just don't want to I just was worried about somebody getting hurt. Because, again, you hit one of those barriers. I don't know if you've ever seen some lowlights on television, sports bloopers.
Yes.
But there's been some serious damage done to bodies that hit those barriers. They don't move. And it's kind of more like an old time, and that the event comes from the old cross-country running, through the creeks and over the fences and up and around and over whatever's in your way. And it's tough event. The big kids enjoyed it. All the rest of the teams kind of hover around that water jump and watch all the carnage that goes on over it, and kids enjoyed it.
Oh, my gosh.
Carnage of the
I enjoy it.
Yeah, carnage.
Yeah. I've never associated carnage with track, but now I guess I have to in this case. Your schedule, I like to look at two events that have been around since the beginning of track time. One is the Centralia Invitational coming up in a couple weeks, and one is in April is the Ram Relays and the Marion Relays, 3 events actually. Those 3 are hard to beat for traditional track meets in Southern Illinois, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. At Centralia, that meet is, they're keeping it as an invitational and keeping it on the schedule. And that used to be, and track historians in Southern Illinois will tell you, that was the premier track meet of the early track season for decades. All the Metro, a lot of the Decatur schools, Champaign schools, Missouri schools would come in and run the old orphan relays. They don't run that orphan or the relay schedule through it anymore. It's a regular invitational with regular events now. But boy, it was fun. And they ran it under the lights on a Friday night, and you just ran great times, and especially even when it was on the old cinder track. Just a lot of great events. You look at their old record sheet and of the records that would run with the old East St. Louis Lincoln group and East St. Louis Flyers when there were 2 schools. And, Craig Virgin is there in the 2 mile, and just a great meet. It's a shame that it's just gone away. A lot of the teams, pulled away from it. I don't know why. But it just kind of faded a little bit in its just the size. Aren't nearly seeing things to come anymore. But it's still a really good meet.
The one person...
You mentioned the Marion Relays and Ram Relays. They're kind of back-to-back. We run the Marion Relays on Friday night, and then we come back on Tuesday and run the Ram Relays at our place.
The guy used to tell me about track stories and still does. A starter track meet still is Rod Schertz.
Yes.
He could tell. I mean, he has stories. He's the one that still tells me track stories. A guy to go to, because if he's seen one, he's seen them all as far as track in Southern Illinois. And that's the history is all these good track meets, like you mentioned, those 3 meets, just what comes out of thing and people like that.
He's been around as a starter a long time. Him, Carl Miller, Gail Borton out of West Frankfort has been starting meets for decades. I bet they've got some stories, and they've seen all the greats that have come through Southern Illinois. And I'll tell you what, there have been a lot of great runners over the years. Just not at the big schools. A lot of our small schools in Southern Illinois have produced some great track athletes.
Okay, let's get to what we really brought you on here to talk about. I know it's track and the carnage and the steeplechase.
Have I been set up?
No.
We're
ready to talk some baseball here. Baseball starts tomorrow night. We gotta have your thoughts. Anything stand out in your mind, Cardinal wise, baseball wise? We start and get ready to go tomorrow night in 2013.
You obviously you guys know I'm a big baseball fan. That's one if I can do it occasionally. Sit and watch an entire 9-inning baseball game on television. Most people kind of cringe their nose at that. But that's relaxing to me, and I enjoy it.
Same here.
The Cards, boy, it seems like every year you go in and you worry about them a little bit, but they sure do come out smelling pretty good, don't they?
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I don't understand on a national level why they are not, I don't want to use the word covered, but discussed and used as a model for other teams, whether National League, American League. I mean, just year in and year out, and we've been spoiled, I think, over the last 20 years of having such great baseball. And I can still remember going back through the 70s when it wasn't so good. But they just every year put things together, and I think that's got a lot to do with the front office, with Mazalok and the group that they do that runs that organization. It's amazing.
A question that Mike Richardson brought up off air, and we'll bring it up now, is we talk about a team leaving the NL Central, going to the AL West, and the Houston Astros, and their move and their money budget and everything. Are they going to be possibly one of the worst teams ever to play Major League Baseball, going for that loss record?
Probably. Playing in that division as well. They're going to, just think they're in the AL West. For one, they got to face the Angels. Talk about an incredible lineup. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting for them. But you know what? They're a pretty darn good organization, too. They don't stay down for very long. And I think they'll come back, and they'll have to kind of retool their team, I think, a little bit. But yeah, it's going to be odd not having the Astros. But I still think it's odd that we don't have our own divisions. You know, I talked to my boys about, we were watching a little bit of a spring training game the other day, and they were playing the Mets.
Yeah.
And I was telling them about, during the 80s, you talk about a heated rivalry between two teams, the Cardinals and the Mets, when they're in the same division and just beating each other up all the time. It was great baseball.
That was back in the day. You had the Mets and the Cardinals and the Pirates. And if you threw in the Expos at them, I'm sure your kids' heads would probably spin here, like, Montreal Expos, who are they?
Yeah, yeah, one of my buddies, Al Wellmaker, was a Expos fan. I think he did it just to kind of get everybody else's goat a little bit, but and then now he thinks he's a Washington fan, or Washington, if you're talking to the Cardinal broadcasters, they call it the Washington.
He always used to wear that Expo hat even after they had moved.
Yeah.
And he
like
still wears it. Yeah,
a beanie, multicolored hat. Yeah,
he had it at I'm in one of the same baseball leagues as he is, and he had it on at a draft a couple of years ago, and it sort of made us all do a little thinking at the time, for sure.
Well, for years I couldn't figure out what the heck was on the actual hat. The colors and that kind of little swooshy. I finally figured out that it was an M, but it just kind of looked like I don't know what it was. And then they had some great teams too. Oh my goodness! You look at Andre Dawson when they were playing with them, and a lot of the great players that ended up moving on and having great careers started in that Expo organization.
Well, and here's my thing. How have we had Clint Turner and Mike Richardson on the same airwaves, and I have not heard a Yankee name drop yet?
Well, I tell you,
and
you listen to the national broadcast, and they're talking about the powerful AL East, and they're not doing a lot of talking about the Yankees and the Red Sox. They're talking about the Rays. They're talking about the Orioles, and the Blue Jays. I don't know, boy. It's going to be an interesting soap opera, I think, in New York, unfortunately.
Well, we've heard it all talked about. I mean, it's no secret of the injuries that has happened, and them are games that'll be, you can't make them up. There's absolutely no way you can do that. But I've listened to all the so-called experts talk about things. I do just like I do in basketball. I do my own seeing eye test, and what I see, it's going to be pitching. Pitching has won that division, and every year basically. Now, does it help scoring 6 or 7 runs a game? Absolutely it does, but you're going to have to rely on a little defense. I don't think it's going to be as bad as what a lot of people are thinking. Eventually, Granderson will come back. The Teixeira deal has really got everybody, concerned and not sure, if that's going to be a total year loss or whatever. And A-Rod, I could care less. But, the important one is Jeter. I mean, that's the heart and soul of that team and franchise and the fan base as well, and that's not a good situation. But, they got pretty good pitching. They got a good bullpen, and now they've already talked about Toronto's bullpen maybe not being as good as what they thought it was going to be. And that's how you win ball games, and that's how you win divisions. And, hey, they can.
I think it's going to be – I think it will be a very tight race with every team. I think it'll be fun to watch, just up and down the whole division, night in and night out, those guys playing each other. It's going to be nice.
When you sit down and watch,
you don't really think of the Yankees as a pitching team. They've got some arms, and they've got some young arms, and I think they're going to be okay.
When you sit down and watch baseball, do you particularly want to watch one team, or do you get the MLB ticket like I do and can take in anybody you want?
No, hey, it's probably 95% of those Cardinal games that are on. That's what's on the television. We may be sitting around. My family, my boys are growing up a little bit, and they've kind of got lives of their own a little bit. But in and out of the house, we're cooking dinner or whatever. Whatever else is going on, the Cardinal game is on. We watch a lot of baseball. Even my daughter, Maggie, who's in 5th grade, she's hyped up. She's ready to go Cardinal game or two, and she's still trying to recover from the loss of Pujols, but she's even a big baseball fan. She really enjoys the Cardinals.
Hey, we got our social media question of the week that we know you're going to enjoy. And this week's question is, what is your favorite Easter candy?
Yeah, that's easy for me. For one, it's got to start with a cold glass of milk.
Yep.
And the Reese's eggs. Reese's peanut butter eggs. I can eat those things in 2 bites. Boom, done.
You've probably been known to take down a 6-pack or 2 of those, haven't you? Of the Reese's eggs?
Big time. We don't do a lot of Easter baskets in our house anymore, but there's a lot of candy that comes in and out from different things, and definitely the Reese's. I can eat those things all day.
You and I as well. Glass of milk and a package or 3 or 4. Now the problem is this week is I've got all this candy saved up, and now baseball's coming. So now it's time to hit the recliner with the remote with the eggs. It's all over from there,
Yep, good stuff.
Amen. Coach, thank you for taking the time to talk some baseball with us, but most importantly, running Rams track. Happy Easter to you and yours, and we can't wait to do this again.
Yeah, and guys, you do a good job. Hang in there. I hopefully be able to see you out at the ball game today. We'll go out and watch the Rams play.
Should be a good one. The East Peoria Raiders.
All righty.
Thank you, Coach. That's Clint Turner, running Rams track and field, of course. A big supporter of all athletics. I don't know, you might not spot him in his baseball cap, but he's usually out there for everything. I mean, he attends most events. We actually are stacked behind on breaks. Need to take a commercial break here on the Saturday Sports Show, powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Who knows what we talk about when we come back? It's always hard telling with us. We do need to tell you that Rams baseball going to start a bit late today. Latest will be 11:30, probably maybe an 11:15 start. But you'll want to come out and support the Mount Vernon Rams or listen on your radio at AM 940. We are online, as always, at WMIXsports.com. We need to take a break. We're back after these.
When an emergency happens, time is everything, and you don't want to spend that time in a waiting room. So choose Crossroads Community Hospital. With our 30 minutes or less ER service pledge, the entire team is committed to working diligently to have you initially seen by a physician, physician assistant, or nurse practitioner within 30 minutes of your arrival. When minutes matter, choose the ER that doesn't waste time. Choose Crossroads Community Hospital. Visit crossroadscommunityhospital.com/faster to learn more. If you are experiencing a medical emergency, call 911.
More Americans are on a move today than ever before. One of the most popular modes of transportation is the motorcycle. Motorcycles take us to our jobs, school, to the beach, and all around the country. If you're a bike rider, your Pekin Insurance Agency, Page Insurance on Crownview in Mount Vernon, wants to make sure you have the best insurance protection while you're riding. Ask about the money-saving auto cycle discount and the experienced driver discount, too. Call Page Insurance at 242-7000 today about motorcycle insurance from Pekin Insurance.
I'm Kevin Snyder with a look at your next rad weather. Widespread dense fog this morning, then we'll see clouds and some sunshine with a shower or 2 late in the day, high around 60. Mostly cloudy tonight with a couple of showers, low 47. Then tomorrow, Easter Sunday, it will be mostly sunny and pleasant, high 62. Cloudy and colder, a bit of rain for Monday, maybe mixed with wet snowflakes, high 44. Next rad weather from WMIX Mount Vernon, Illinois.
And we welcome you back. Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, WMIXSports.com. Scores continue, believe it or not. If there's local action, we have your scores on WMIXSports.com. Check them out on a nightly basis, although you would have been disappointed on Monday and Tuesday as not much happened in these neck of the woods due to the winter storm that had come through, and as a result, we got back to baseball and softball on Wednesday. Of course, the Rams in action today against the East Peoria Raiders. First pitch was scheduled for 11 o'clock, but looks like that might be bumped back a bit. Latest start will be 11:30, but just get on out there. 11 o'clock, get your seat. They have some new stadium seats out there at Brennan Klein Memorial Field, or you can listen on your radio at AM 940 and online at WMIXSports.com. Kind of got on a roll there with Coach Turner, thankfully, with Major League Baseball. Gentlemen, who would have ever thought that tomorrow night, the four-letter network, that Texas and Houston would be a regular season non-interleague matchup, an intra-league matchup in the AL West? I mean, I think over the past few years we saw that coming. I just don't believe that in my lifetime I'd ever see the Houston Astros in the American League.
Well, you're right. I mean, we did see it coming several years ago, but now it is reality, and the salary dump and the organization's moves from the Astros. You would think that leaving the National League Central and going to the American League where you could add a hitter at the DH position, that probably would help you and help your organization somewhat. But, oh my gosh, with the fire sale, I looked at their roster just getting prepared for another fantasy draft. And I knew they were challenged at a few positions, but it's going to be interesting to see how many Houston Astros will actually be drafted in a 12-team league.
I'm not ashamed to say I took an Astro like in the 20th round. I don't even remember his name, but he's now my first baseman. Carter, I think.
Carter's at first,
and then Altuve. I had him last year.
I mean that's a couple, but
I don't remember my draft, to be honest.
It's just phenomenal, and that just sort of goes to some of my saying. And Clint Turner, he was running, and I have to give him kudos. Whatever cell phone he has, man, it's great because he was running. He said it on Casey, and I never heard it bounce one time. I mean, I never heard him out of breath or. So that was a great cell phone he had while he was running, here in town.
Well, here's the thing.
Wow.
With Coach Turner, odds are you have a Mountain Dew in one hand and the phone in the other.
Yeah, and they just ran and never missed a beat, so that's fantastic. But, getting into salaries and stuff like that, and Danny was getting ready to say it before we jumped on him, A-Rod's salary is going to be bigger than their starting salary of the season. And how's that possible? If you're wanting parity in baseball and you're always complaining about the big money teams, I've always contended you need to have a minimum salary cap as well. And they're going to start the season with $29 million payroll. That is absolutely ridiculous in modern baseball to do that to your fans in this day and age.
Modern baseball is just a crazy, crazy thing right now. And you look... And obviously, a lot of the focus goes to the high contracts, things of that nature, your fire sales in Miami, and things that are perceived to be wrong with baseball. But I'll tell you a good story. And granted, I'm a Cardinal fan, but I try not to look at myself like some Cardinals fans will, and that high and mighty. I try to be realistic about it. But I really did think that the Adam Wainwright contract thing went as smoothly as possible, and I thought it was handled well by both sides. And I'm just relieved to see that. It happens all across baseball. We just don't hear about it because there's no drama in that.
Yeah, and I agree. I think it was handled the right way. He wanted to get it done before he left spring training. He said when spring training started, get this done. I'm open-minded. We'll make a deal. We'll make it work. And, coming off a subpar year record-wise, but always having that good ERA, good work habits, somebody for the younger pitchers to look up to. Obviously, that's a great move by the Cardinals, but yeah, it was drama-free. Now you're looking the day after, Verlander, he signs a nice little contract also. So the money's out there with these TV contracts, and I am just totally amazed of what some organizations are doing right now on the positive side and some of them on the negative side. I just don't know how you explain that to a fan base.
Well, and there's a lot of fan bases that aren't happy right now, and that makes a huge difference. But, I mean, primarily, you look at the fan bases in this room as far as what we consider our primary teams. Obviously, me, Cardinal, Mike, you a Yankee, DC. Are you okay with the Cubs right now?
I'm good.
Okay. You usually are. You're realistic.
Theo and Judd are building. I have no problems. Theo, it's going to be long. It's going to be a project, but the minor league system and the prospects and the players starting to add up in the system, you can see the plan. There's actually a plan. First time on the Cubs side of things, Chicago, there's actually a plan for past, present, and future that Theo's brought to Chicago, and I expect some big things over the next decade or more or so from this organization. But, it's going to be one of those years for the Cubs. It is what it is until they start getting things circled back around.
Well, it is, and I think as long as the fan base and the Cubs one has always been pretty realistic about life, it is what it is, and that's the thing you have to start worrying about. And I think that's the thing that most people who really enjoy the game of baseball and its inner workings kind of became fearful of when they made those hires and brought those two in to lead the organization from a baseball operations standpoint, was that the days of them going out and making moves that could be considered less than desirable over the course of a long term are done, and that's going to be a formidable franchise in the Central Division up there in the upper echelon again, and they will probably remain there.
Well, the biggest problem for baseball fans are the fans who go to ballparks win or lose. Those owners will sit up there in their box and go, hey, everybody's here no matter what, so come on in. So, like Cub fans have started to get away from that. They still show up because Wrigley Field's an entertainment thing, but, that's the whole thing. You've got to figure out that fans won't show up. I don't think people will show up in Houston. I think it's going to be awful baseball, and what a sad way for that organization to go. They've been so competitive over the years.
Well, indeed. And of course, we have one more break to take on the Saturday Sports Show. We have plenty of time to talk Major League Baseball. We're going to be wrapped up in that probably for the next however many months that is until October. So, that said, we're going to take a break, come back, and if you still have a bracket left, we're going to talk a little college basketball here on the Saturday Sports Show, powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It is more than a hospital.
Yeah, it's what healthcare should be.
We're back after these.
When an emergency happens, time is everything, and you don't want to spend that time in a waiting room. So choose Crossroads Community Hospital with our 30 minutes or less ER service pledge. The entire team is committed to working diligently to have you initially seen by a physician, physician assistant, or nurse practitioner within 30 minutes of your arrival. When minutes matter, choose the ER that doesn't waste time. Choose Crossroads Community Hospital. Visit crossroadscommunityhospital.com/faster to learn more. If you are experiencing a medical emergency, call 911.
State Farm, this is Jessica.
Hey, Jessica, Jerry Newman. Does State Farm offer more discounts to more drivers?
Yep, like the good driver discount.
So it's for good, but not great drivers.
No, Jerry. There's also the multi-line discount.
For calling from multiple lines while driving.
You should never use a phone while driving.
I only make calls from my car when I'm stuck in a ditch or something.
Are you in a ditch?
Yes, I am.
State Farm offers more discounts to more drivers than any other insurance company. Get to a better state.
One more reason to call State Farm agent Tony Boldt in Mount Vernon at 242-1421.
And we welcome you back, Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, WMIXSports.com. Chris Hugo with Danny Zerwinski and Mike Richardson in studio, courtesy of Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
Yeah, it's what healthcare should be.
So, at what point, DC, I know you didn't fill one out. Michael, at what point did your bracket go to, what point did it die? Is it still alive?
I had a great weekend last weekend, for sure. And still had the Midwest. I had it, that bracket was still perfect. I hadn't missed a game in it until Duke snapped that streak last night. Michigan State just couldn't throw it in the proverbial ocean at all from anybody. So that was my first blemish there. And then, obviously, when some of the other ones went down, Kansas, I had them winning.
You know better.
And absolutely. You just didn't know the way the brackets came out, who it was going to be. And then, you had the other Florida team, the Gulf Shores, that Gulf Coast. It just was absolutely phenomenal, the show they put on for a few games. So I've still got on the left side. I'm still in pretty good shape, but on the right side, I'm totally gone in that side now, totally.
I think my bracket for participating on last Friday, not yesterday. There we go. Trying to figure that out.
Yeah. The brackets are,
But you got to figure a lot of people's are too. I mean, there's not. I can't imagine even in the big 4-letter station that we talked about of the 8 million filled out, only 4 brackets were 15 out of 16 of the final 16. So even all the smarter people and us and the ones that claim to be, they didn't have it right either. So
not the easiest thing to pull off. I can tell you that.
Nope.
And then when we really start thinking about brackets, it almost ought to be twofold. You ought to take your initial bracket that you fill out, right off the bat. But then maybe you should get to alter and start another one with the final 16, because you wouldn't have certain people beating certain people if that one team got beat. You can modify that a little bit, but yet that's what the pageantry is of all this stuff. It'll culminate here in a couple of Monday nights. So exciting times and great games here for the rest of the weekend for sure to get down to the Final Four.
Only time of the year I get to watch make the time, I should say, to watch full college basketball games. And all in all, hope you enjoyed the Saturday Sports Show today pretty well. I've gone down to the wire now, and it's going to be a busy day for you, of course, here with Rams baseball on AM 940, 11 o'clock, which is scheduled first pitch for game number 1. East Peoria Raiders coming in. Might be a little late of a start. Could be 11:15, might be 11:30, but just keep your dial locked to AM 940 and online at WMIXsports.com. We'll have Rams baseball for you today. Don't forget our WMIX social media question of the week. You can find that on Twitter and Facebook. What is your favorite Easter candy? And then, of course, you can find our broadcast schedule online if you're wondering when we're going to get the Lady Rams softball team on. It'll actually be Monday, weather permitting, as they travel to Waltonville-SV to take on the Lady Spatans. 4:15 is your scheduled pregame. But find our entire schedule, find archives, find everything you need, sports-related locally, at WMIXsports.com. So long, happy Easter.
America's best music and talk. AM 940 WMIX Mount Vernon, the Withers Broadcasting Station.